Hey everybody, you've caught me getting ready for Tracy's birthday party today. I'm making some coleslaw dressing. Now this is what I've been wanting to share with you guys for quite a while. It's one of my favorite things to make for a party. So let's just jump right in and get it going. First of all, mayonnaise. We've got about 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise here, and that's gonna make for our first ingredient. We're just gonna dump it in there. That's gonna obviously add some serious creaminess and richness that we're gonna want in our coleslaw. So our second kind of creamy ingredient is gonna be half and half. Now half and half is wonderful stuff, and we're gonna hit this with about another half cup of half and half. That's easy to remember. All right, so there's that. Now the third main ingredient in your coleslaw dressing is vinegar. So here we're using some regular old apple cider vinegar. Nothing fancy. And we're going to throw in 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of vinegar. So while we do that, we need to talk about the history of coleslaw. Well, coleslaw, the word, actually comes from a Dutch dish, which was very similar. It was a cold cabbage salad. And it was called, kind of roughly called Coleslaw, and it was spelled weird with a K. And apparently the Dutch people that made coleslaw or coleslaw back whenever early 20th century, I believe it was, the term ended up getting Americanized and turned into coleslaw. So okay, so now we've got our mayonnaise, we've got our half and half, and we've got our vinegar. So let's go into our spices. It's a trifecta of spices that I like to throw into my coleslaw here. First one, onion powder. Got about a tablespoon of that. Throw it in. Next, celery salt. Good stuff. This is a real classic ingredient for coleslaw dressing. You'll see this in almost any recipe for coleslaw dressing. Celery salt. And the last one, another one you'll see in a lot of recipes, is ground mustard. I forgot that for a second. Ground mustard. So that's our 3 spices. So it's 3 and 3. There was the mayo, the half and half, and the vinegar. Then there was the celery salt, the ground mustard, and the onion powder. So there we go. All right, now what I like to do at this point is kind of give it a little stir. And this is kind of the basis. Just give it a little stir with a fork. And you can see that celery salt gives it kind of like a neat look. It looks like it's got like pepper in there or something going on. It doesn't just look all white. So that's looking good. You can smell the vinegar in there. Awesome. Okay, so the finishing touches on this deal are important. This is what's going to really set it off, make it a little bit different than other coleslaws you have. First of all, some lime. We're going to get out 1 lime and we're going to juice it in there. There's 1. Ditch that guy. And there's the other. So one good healthy lime's worth of juice into our coleslaw dressing. And now, my favorite element of this coleslaw dressing is this. Agave nectar. Ooh, agave nectar. This is the sugary extract from the blue agave plant, which is actually like a cactus. And what is the blue agave known for? Well, it's the same thing they make the basis of tequila from. Some good tequilas anyway. So, agave nectar. Now, this is kind of to taste, and I don't have an exact measurement for you, but I'm going to say about 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup, depending on how sweet you want it. For me, I put about half the bottle, and I think that's about 1/2 a cup. And that'll really sweeten it up and make it just, you know, a lot of people just put sugar in their coleslaw dressing, and that's fine, it'll make it sweet. But this stuff has kind of a little different twist on sweetness. It has like a real neat flavor. So there you go. It also gives it kind of this golden color, which I think is kind of interesting. So there we go. Our dressing is really done at this point. It's real thin. It's not thick, and I've made a lot here because I'm going to kind of make a double or triple batch. Maybe keep some around. So that brings us to the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is prepping this for the meal. Coleslaw is something that you shouldn't make way ahead of time. You saw we put the lime in there. That acid is going to attack the cabbage that you're going to eventually put this on. It's going to break it down. It's going to actually change the flavor if you leave it in there long enough. It's going to make it soggy and wilty. It's going to lose all its crunch. So when you're going to do a coleslaw for a dinner or a party, you want to make sure that you get you can make your dressing ahead of time, but you don't want to mix it together until maybe just 15 minutes before you're going to serve it. And that'll give you the maximum crunch factor that you're looking for in your coleslaw. Also, if you are going to make it and keep it, if you're going to make it ahead of time and serve it hours later, you need to remember to use less dressing, because what will happen, the dressing to cabbage mixture that you start out with when you first mix it together may seem right. But if you leave it for hours, it's going to draw the moisture out of the cabbage, and it's going to turn it into extra, really wet. If you leave it too long, it's going to be a soupy deal. So if you're going to leave it, put less dressing, and where it looks almost too dry, and then it'll wetten itself up by drawing some of that moisture out of the cabbage. So that's it. I'm not going to mix it together for the reasons I just told you. I've got some coleslaw mix I bought from the store because I really see no reason to be chopping my own cabbage. The stuff you get in the bag is great. So I'm going to kind of box this up, get it ready to go to the party. And I'm glad you're watching my video, and I hope it helped you out. We'll talk to you later.